What's going on? So they're really going about Eric Clapton. Not only did he take Layla with the song, but then he took not only Layla, who was actually based on Patty Boyd, who was married to George Harrison at the time. You know the lyrics of the song, but also took the song because Rita Coolidge didn't get her credit. Jim Gordon, who was the drummer on the song, and he was the ex-boyfriend of Rita Coolidge, took her part. So you know that piano part, which has been used in Goodfellas and Carmine, remember in the thaw out scene in Goodfellas? That iconic piece of music which was used, that part. Rita Coolidge has never gotten a dime for it. I was watching an old clip, and I've never been the biggest Eric Clapton fan because I know about his past, his racist ways before 1976 and other things he's said. So I've been very looking at him very beady eyed and side eyed. And as a musician, to me, he's just done a rebrand of his music. He sounds like old Lowenbrow beer commercial music most of the time. His guitar playing, Derek and the Dominoes and everything was happening in the late 60s, early 70s. But the wow factor, what he been given, I haven't felt this turkey in a minute. Not like that, not for the hype he gets. So this is just another ad on Rita Coolidge. And this just goes to show you that credits are a bit misleading because people don't. Now, what the story was is that Robert Stingwood, who was, I can't make sure I'm saying his name right. I believe he was the same guy who produced Saturday Night Fever, had a hand in that, was managing Clapton at the time, and he basically told Rita Coolidge that no one will believe a woman or no one will believe, what you're saying. So she never got her credits. How many times do you hear about songwriters or people who play parts and stuff and didn't get their credit? That's a dime a dozen industry. That's why lawyers run the industry, and that's why artists are usually swept away like the debris and left and say, well, you will compensate you in another way. So you don't get this, but you'll get that. This is very telling. But that is such a iconic piece because just that piano part that's used in Goodfellas alone, could you imagine that sample and that gets played and streamed and all that, and she misses out on royalties? It is a shame that artists aren't properly covered like that. It's been so many times, or sometimes they get covered in other ways, but sometimes that is just so perplexing how someone walks around with the arrogance and the smugness and never questions it. Parts play. So now sometimes you see artists with 99 people on the record and maybe 98 of them didn't have a hand in it because everyone's going to get fed off of that. So it's funny how that works. But Clapton, being seen as the guitar slinger king for his time, got to ride and never get questioned on it. So why they don't ever get the pressings correct and don't cut a publishing check? It goes to the lawyers. That's how the industry works. That's how people have used that. So I just wanted to point that out because it's such a, and that storyline with Patty Boyd, the ex-wife of the late George Harrison, and Clapton, and that whole thing was like a storyline in its own self. It was just like, whoa, soap opera-ish. Then you actually get a soap opera that the song, one of the writers didn't get to do. So happens so often than not, because times you be reading credits. That's why back in the day I was all cool about credits, reading who wrote whatnot. But sometimes it don't even make no difference because the publishing and who actually gets the check and who actually did the song. There's so many ghosts and people that go on about it. You can't always go by what you actually read until you actually hear it said because there are parts and then there's lettering and then there's so many things that go into the songwriting. There's so much politics involved that who really did what and when and where. But I thought it was a fascinating story because Layla is one of those iconic songs and that particular piano part and chording and change is distinctive. But Jim Gordon got in his feelings, they broke up, and he gave her no credit. And that's the sad part of it. Please hit like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep it mind clear, watch out for another. Share the video if you like. Hit that membership, stay safe, stay blessed, stay true, stay honest, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.